pressure. She's sacked him. A great bull rush by Chris Jones.
When it gets tough, you know, he's going to be there battling. Players appreciate it.
The Chiefs put the hammer down with a 34-yard touchdown pass. The 10, still not down. Oh, what a run out of this world. Falling up to 20, 10, 5, touchdown.
All right, really don't have any injuries to mention here. We should be, you know, on a positive note. Down at McDuffie and Fenton, we have a chance of getting back here this next week here. So, and it's a bye week. I got it, but we get them back when we get back. Anyways, listen, I'm proud of our team for the job they did. This is a very well-coached football team with the 49ers, and they've got really good football players. So, and they're, you know, they got their guys back and were very emotional, had a nice big trade that they added to it. So their future is bright as can be. And but on the other hand, I like the way our guys approached the game. They came out, didn't get caught up in all of that, and didn't get caught up in being down by 10 points. They just kept playing. Had some young guys step up and make some plays. I mean, I could go through and name all the guys that had a good game, but I'd end up naming probably everybody. They all somewhere along the line contributed, and coaches included. There was great game plans for both sides of special teams. But the resilience of our special teams, first half was a bit shaky, and then second half the guys stepped up. That return to start the second half was a thing of beauty, so that really helped us get going there. Anyways, with that, time's yours.
Hey, Andy. Patrick starts off with that interception. What did you see from him after that point, responding to that?
Yeah, that's a great learning experience for Sky on that. So Sky's got a wraparound route right there, and we try to put everybody inside, outside, so you got to kind of work into that spot and know how to do it. And he got a little bit too high, and Pat trusts him. That was the positive part. So next time around, we'll knock that thing out, and they talked through it, and that was a good thing. So good learning experience. So,
Andy, you got Mecole maybe more involved today in the running game, the running part of it. Something about this particular opponent that led you to do that?
Yeah, not necessarily. I mean, Coach Heck had these jet sweeps dialed up, and really he liked them. I mean, he did like them against this group, but he normally likes them. So. I thought Mecole did a heck of a job going fast, being patient, and then hitting it. And, you know, our guys blocked it well. So, yeah, for him, I think he had 3 touchdowns on it. That was the same play, really, 3 different times. Going
back to Sky Moore for a second, do you have to step back from him on the punt return part of things for now?
No, listen, from what I see, number one, he doesn't hang his head. And number 2 is he learns from his mistakes. So that was a tweener thing going on there, and he'll learn from that. And I'm not that worried about him, you know.
You say he learned from his mistakes. That was similar to the play in Indianapolis, though.
Similar, but he had, it was different. Similar but different. Adam, I got it.
Coach, you mentioned the signing of McCaffrey. Did your defense have to change anything as far as short notice and such an impact player, just kind of like being prepared for something like that?
Yeah, we had put together a tape if he did play of all of his carries and catches, and so the Spags buzzed through that. We figured they'd use something that'd be familiar to him. And we did. Now, he had some nice plays. He's a great player, and he's going to be a great addition. I mean, Kyle knows how to use offensive players, and he'll be exciting once he gets in the flow of things. Yeah.
Hey, Andy, we talked this last week about your guys getting more man coverage right over here.
Man, I'm having a hard time following the
no,
mic.
It's all right.
There's a mic here and a mic here, man.
You guys getting more man coverage. How do you think your receivers responded to that challenge today?
Yeah, we've had it for really throughout the season. I thought our guys did a good job with it today. To answer your question, we had some pretty positive snaps against it, and in particular big time. So we were decent on third down, really good on third down. So that's normally where we've been seeing most of it.
And also your defensive line, what you see from them today?
Yeah, I saw relentless football, and nothing tells you that more than what Frank did at the end there with the safety against one of the great. He'll go down as one of the great offensive linemen ever to play this game. I mean, he's a tremendous football player. Ton of respect for him. So, I think all the guys did that. You saw Chris doing the same thing. Carlos had a nice batted ball and a big penalty against him. So there were some just positive things. 99 was a contributor. 91 was a contributor. I mean, you saw George had some positive snaps, and it's a good rotation Joe has going there. So.
Andy, trying to piggyback off that defensive line question, the Niners had a couple offensive tackles that were coming back from an injury, probably weren't 100%. So what was the key as far as just trying to put pressure and get Jimmy Garoppolo off balance and making the bad throws like you guys did in the second half? Yeah, listen, Jimmy's a good football player. It's and every quarterback in this league. You want to try to get him off balance. He's a veteran, so we were bringing people, and he made some nice plays in that second half, hitting the hot receiver, and to where we stopped doing that. And those guys, the guys that came back, will do nothing but get better for you guys. So I think it's a positive outlook for the 49ers, even though this score got away a little bit. I think it's down the road. The Niners are in good hands.
Coach, heading into the bye week, I know you don't get to choose when the bye week is, but is this having a good time for you guys and coming off the win, and just kind of like how you assess where you guys are right now? Yeah, I think so. I think it's a good time. 5-2 looks a lot better than 4-3, so it's I think it comes where we can afford to get a little bit healthier in some spots, particularly a corner spot, as long as the guys are out there and being safe. And that's kind of my primary concern right now, that they get back on time. That's always important. But this, I think, leads them into a nice positive week where they can have some recovery time.
All right, thank you.
Okay, good. Thanks.
It's a good day when we hear from Andy Reid first at the podium, as we see everybody's coming in to photobomb us here. Chiefs win at 44-23. Mitch Holthus with you, along with senior team reporter Matt McMullen. But okay, every win in the National Football League's a good win. I don't care if it's 2-0 or 55-0. And there are gutsy wins, but Matt, sometimes there are statement wins. And a 44-23 win over San Francisco today felt like a statement win by the Chiefs.
A statement win in so many ways. The 49ers came into this game feeling really good. Of course, they traded for Christian McCaffrey earlier this week. They have the number 2 scoring defense in the NFL. They're feeling really good coming into this game, and they have an early 10-0 lead on the Chiefs in this game. So you start wondering, if you're the 49ers, we can start rolling here, right? We have the home crowd behind us. What do the Chiefs do after they fall behind by 10 points in this game? They go touchdown, touchdown, missed field goal, touchdown, 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 touchdown. That'll work. Against, again, a team that's second in scoring defense in the National Football League, and had only given up 4 touchdown passes in 6 weeks. And Mahomes gets 3 today. But let's, before we talk offense, let's don't gloss over the defense here. The fact that this defense was able to hold in when it needed to. Let's start with Joshua Williams and his interception when the 49ers were going to take the lead at 14-13. Yeah, that's how sports are so poetic. Joshua Williams had a tough game last week against the Bills, right? Comes back in this one, has another opportunity to play a lot because Trent McDuffie and Rashad Fenton weren't playing in this game. Sky Moore fumbles the punt, and the 49ers get the ball inside their own 5-yard line. You start wondering if they're going to score a touchdown there, at least a field goal, right? No problem. The Chiefs dial up some pressure on Jimmy Garoppolo. He throws it up for grabs, and Joshua Williams makes a huge play there. Awesome moment for him. And then defensively, to get 4 sacks in this game and a safety
and 2 interceptions. You and I on Defending the Kingdom this week, we had the DIFR, remember, defensive interceptions and fumble recoveries. Chiefs had 5 takeaways in 6 weeks. They get the interception today from Thornhill, the one we mentioned about Williams, 4 sacks and a safety because Frank Clark was having some fun in the fourth quarter.
The Chiefs' first safety since 2020 when Chris Jones got one against the Miami Dolphins. That was awesome. And also holding Deebo Samuel, one of the most dynamic, versatile players in the NFL, the 5 grabs for 42 yards. They shut him down in this game.
And tackling was at a premium. Now, before we get to the offense, we need to mention another huge play. 14-13, you mentioned the missed field goal, so the Chiefs do not have momentum to start the third quarter. But Isaiah Pacheco takes back a kick for 48 yards and a 15-yard penalty. And Isaiah Pacheco, now all of a sudden you just shifted the momentum in a second in that game.
You can see why Coach Tobe all offseason long was saying, I believe in this kid. He's going to be our kickoff returner. We saw it in this game. You want a spark out of halftime because things didn't go the Chiefs' way at the end of the first half. You want to come out of halftime feeling good and get some momentum rolling. That's what he did on that kick return.
And now let's get into the offensive numbers. Finally, if you fantasy players are going, all right, we got Madden numbers again because Mahomes throws for 423. Then you look at Juju Smith-Schuster, 124 receiving. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, how big was the 57-yard reception?
I think that drive was the moment of the game for the Chiefs. So the 49ers narrowed it to a 5-point lead for the Chiefs at that point. It was early in the fourth quarter. Nick Bosa just got a sack on Patrick Mahomes, and it's 3rd and 11. And if the Chiefs punt the ball away there, San Francisco is feeling really good. Maybe they go down and score a touchdown and take the lead. Well, Mahomes finds Marquez Valdes-Scantling for 57 yards downfield. Then 2 snaps later, Juju Smith-Schuster had a 20-yard reception, and Mecole Hardman was in the end zone. I think a snap later after that. Awesome seeing the new guys in MVS and Juju make some huge plays when it mattered the most.
And you do such a great job of helping me spot in the booth on these road games.
When I'm not cheering the entire time.
Yeah, I was so ready to call it because Kelsey was 2 yards away from tying Rob Gronkowski with a 32nd 100-yard receiving game. He had 98 yards, and he would have done it on National Tight End Day. I was ready. Chiefs tried to get him the ball. They were trying to get it to him.
Yeah, Chad Henne, his final 2 passing attempts, trying to get Travis Kelce the ball. He'll get the record next week. And to see all the love spread around like it was for the Chiefs here today, Travis Kelce getting his with 98 yards, but MVS and Juju also having big days. Clyde Edwards-Helaire scoring a touchdown, and Mecole Hardman with the first multi-touchdown game of his career. Awesome day for him.
And statement made. Chiefs win it 44-23 over one of the better defensive teams in the NFL, the San Francisco 49ers. Let's go back to the podium.
Juju.
Juju, second straight 100-yard game for you, second straight game with a touchdown. Why all of a sudden the last 2 games? What?
I think honestly it's just the hard work we're putting in. I think just like I said, it's the chemistry, and Pat, getting to trust all of us and to put, the ball where it needs to be and us to go make the play. As you can see today, 2 tight ends, 2 to 3 tight ends catching balls, receivers catching balls, Mecole score, I score, and just spreading the ball around. And then when your number's called, just making plays.
Third game this year, you've been down at least 10 points early, and you guys came back to win. Is there, you notice something joining this team about how they operate in those situations?
Energy all day, and that starts with Trav, and that starts with Pat, and it starts with Chris. Like, those are the guys that gets this team going. And second half, you can feel that. You can feel the passion that you're playing for one another.
Can you give some examples how you feel that?
Energy all day at halftime, and that's Trav saying, and I feed off of it. We're all feeding off of it, and coming in second half, we get the ball back, we come down, we had a great special team return and put points on the board, and with a team like the 49ers, great team all around, especially the defense side of the ball. You said like they're almost number 1 in almost every racket. So for us, it's just putting points on the board and getting up, and forcing them to throw the ball in the second half, where our defense can play more.
Hey, Juju, you guys have faced a lot of man coverage. Did the receivers take that to heart this week? Was that a challenge you guys wanted to take on?
Oh, no, it doesn't matter what we're going against. Zone, man coverage. Since I've been here, I've seen it all. I've seen every type of coverage you can, go against. So, coming into this game, I guess it's always like the first series. I'm like, what do we see? What are they showing us early? And it kind of slowly changes, as the game goes on. And, the coaches call the plays, we go out there, we execute, and we make the plays.
And real quick, what did you see from MVS? He got a go route. I don't think he's had one of those this year. What did you see on that play?
So you know the one on the sideline? Not the post, right?
No, the
Yeah. So, we came into this game that, it was, honestly, that was probably a great catch. Catching the ball with the sun in your face, that's something that, we did last week. I had one last week, and we caught that. So we worked on that, all week. So it was nice. It's always nice to see, like, MVS and, like, Cole, like, really open up and, like, really run.
The offense started off slow in that first half, but then the second half, you guys seemed like you were able to march down and do what you wanted. Was that return, that start the second half, the kickoff return, was that the spark you guys needed?
Yeah, honestly, that's where it was. That's the spark that got us into, Clyde getting to the touchdown and us getting the ball back. And in an atmosphere like this, that's what we need. And going into that second half and going into the fourth quarter, man, everyone was just so excited, because once the defense gets a stop, and once you're on one, you ever play Madden and they got like the X factor on like a quarterback? Bro, they had it on Pat today, and it was like fire. And I was just like, damn, he's on his X factor. Let me try to get on mine. I ain't got one, but I try to get one. So, but like I said, it's just a passion. Like when I was said, like, this is the second we lost against the Bills. We lost against Colts, and we came out Tampa on fire. We lost against the Bills, another great football team. We came out here. We kind of started off sluggish, but we picked it up and we came out fire. I think moving forward, every week gotta feel like that passion, that energy, and that's why I'm here, because I'm all about work, man. At the end of the day, all I care about was the number on the board. I don't care about no stats whatsoever. As long as we win, we get out of the game with a W. We fly home, bye week, baby. Get to go home, see my family. It's nice, man. Happy Halloween.
Last two. Hey, Juju, you talked about Pat trusting you. This goes back to like the workouts you guys were doing in Texas in the offseason. Just kind of that process and how it's evolved and where you guys are right now.
Oh, man. Dude, you want to talk about like chemistry and trust? Yeah, so we started off in Dallas. We worked out there. It was pretty cool. Pat got his like own little facility. I'm like, damn, that's pretty cool, Pat. So we started off there. We came here, worked out in camp, built that chemistry. Obviously, preseason, camp. But I'm going to tell you what got us the chemistry, what we needed this game. So I think it was Friday night. It was me, Pat, Travis, and MBS. We were playing Call of Duty together. We were playing Warzone. And we played 3 games. We won 3 games back to back. And we got off, we was like, damn, like, it's really hard to win a game in Warzone, Call of Duty. And you could just tell, like, the communication between all of us and, like, the chemistry was just like, it was like we were in the game. Like, he's there, he's right there, he's above me, he's right here. And kind of just led into this game, and kind of just showed on the field.
Forgive me. Call of Duty, you all on the same team? I'm not familiar.
Yeah. So we're on the same team. So we're on the same team, right? There's 4 of us. There's 64 people on this map. It's called Rebirth Island. We all land in, and then we all, like, we get our guns. Once we get our guns, then we're all, like, working together, like the communication, like, yo, let's move upstairs. Let's go here. Trav, he's behind you. Pat, he's behind you. He's in the storm. And that's where it all started at, honestly. You can ask him about it, too.
Last one.
Juju, I'm sorry, this question won't be as fun as that previous one. But for Mundo NFL in Spanish, the 49ers volvieron a muchos jugadores defensivos importantes esta semana. ¿Cómo pudieron hacerlo para ser tan exitosos? The 49ers got back a lot of defensive talent this week. How were you able to be so successful against them?
Man, so going to get, like I said, this defense they're really good. Like I said, you look at the charts, they're pretty much number 1 across the board. And I think for us, we always talk about when we're down and we're losing, it's us beating ourselves. It's penalties, it's unnecessary things that we're working on, and we're hurting ourselves. And we came out second half and we fixed that. Like I said, we started off kind of sluggish, but at the end of the day, it's all about details and assignment, getting on your man. And our tight ends had huge blocks in the in the second half early, where Clyde scored. So it's just everyone being accountable.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Hey, bro, you got something about work?
All right.
Can you take us through the go pattern to Northwest?
Are you talking about the one that down the middle of the field? Yeah. So that was It was a kind of a skinny post route that wasn't really a big alert in my read, but the way that their safeties were playing in their cover 4, I knew that they were going to drive Juju, who was the primary on the other side. And so once I saw Mecole kind of clear out the middle and he was one-on-one, I just put it out there. And it's funny, I've told him, I was like, I missed you in Indy, so I've thrown these 2 kind of short, but I'm going to get them to where I can get some touchdowns out of these and put them out there a little bit even further.
He said you guys had a conversation, and maybe it was the first quarter, second quarter, just about the fact that he thought that route might be open later in the game.
Yeah. So how they were playing, I mean, I think you saw it on the first pick. Their safeties were driving down. They have aggressive safeties. They're really good, but they were kind of trying to use their pass rush to drive down and make plays. That's what happened on the interception. And so once early in the game I saw that, we talked about it on the sideline. Right before we went on the sideline, I said, hey, it was the play I ended up hitting Travis on, the little out route he had ran early in the second quarter. I was like, hey, if they get in that cover four shell again, if that safety drives, just make sure you kind of keep it down the field. And so that's stuff that you build throughout a season, and I think we're going to continue to get better and better at that.
Hey, Patrick, I'll ask you. Juju's talked about Friday. He said you guys gained a lot of chemistry playing Call of Duty and Warzone. I guess won 3 straight. Can you describe it from your perspective?
Yeah, I don't play all the time, but some of those guys play. And so when I had a kind of a free night on Friday, and so I told him, I was like, I'll get on with y'all for a little while. And so it was me, Travis, Marquez, and Juju. And Marquez and Juju are really good. Me and Travis are just all right. But we did our part, and we went 3 for 3 with 3 wins in Warzone, which I don't do often, which they might, but I don't. So I felt pretty good about it going into the game.
He says you guys have developed some chemistry. Did it feel like it playing that?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. When you get away from the facility, you're doing, it's kid-like things, and you're on the headset, and you're kind of talking and joking around and talking about the week. It kind of gets your mind off of just football, and it's about building those relationships. And so it's definitely cool to kind of see these guys, even if it's on the game, outside of the facility.
Yeah, hey, Pat, he just said that the trust, building the trust ever since Dallas, and that was kind of part of the evolution process where it kind of clicked in the Call of Duty. And he said that you were able to trust all of the receivers. How do you kind of felt like that evolution has happened, trusting those guys to having a performance like you did today?
Yeah, I mean, it's getting better and better. I think we can continue to get better. As I look at this season, I think we're going to continue to get better and better as the season goes on. We'll learn from our mistakes, and we'll go out there and improve and be even better when the season gets to the end of it. And so to go out against a defense like this and show that we can still be explosive and have those big plays, I think that will bode well for us as the season goes on, because people don't know where it's going to come from.
Patrick, you start the game with a pick, and you're down 10-0 against a pretty good defense on the road, a loud building. Does any of that take you out of your comfort zone at any point? I mean, were you anywhere close to that today?
Not necessarily. I mean, I knew we needed to, after the pick, we needed to go down there and get points on that next drive. You don't want them to get too far ahead because how efficient and good their run game is. And so we were able to move the ball down the field that next drive and get it into the end zone on Mecole's first jet sweep thing. And so we knew that we needed to get points on the board. But, I mean, like I said, I saw early that their safeties were playing a little closer than teams usually play us. So I knew we'd have opportunities. It was just going to take us protecting, which our O-line did a terrific job of against a great D-line, and guys winning downfield, which they did.
So how is it that you don't get out of your comfort zone in those kinds of situations? Just haven't done it so many times before?
Yeah, I mean, it's having done it, and then there's so much time left in the game. I'm going to compete to the final whistle until coach takes me off that football field. And so whenever you get down in these games, all you can do is how can you affect and go out there and have a positive next play? And then you kind of continue to do that the next play. And EB preaches that is the most important play is the next play. And so we just go out there and just execute that play. Continue to make the drives happen, and then once you get in the end zone and it gets a little bit closer, then you can kind of keep that same mentality going.
I know you don't care where the ball's going as long as it's going to an open guy, but everybody got involved today. Big games for a lot of guys. What's that like for you when it's working, whether you get the ball to Hardman or Juju or MVS or Kelsey?
Yeah, I mean, we have guys everywhere on this offense. I mean, the receivers obviously had a big day today. The tight ends have had big days. Running backs have had big days. That's just going to be who we are as an offense. It's going to be everybody. And so I think as long as it all starts up front and the offensive line plays like they did today, we'll have a good day as an offense. We have a lot of playmakers on this team.
Patrick, everybody knows – over here, Patrick.
Oh, yeah.
How you doing, man? Everybody knows that Mecole is fast, but why do the jet sweeps work so well? And is there something that you guys recognized or saw from the 49ers defense that allowed that play to maybe flourish more than usual?
Yeah, I mean, well, first off, jet sweeps work better when you run the ball well, and I thought we ran it in spots really well, run it downhill. And then when you get other guys like Travis and stuff going through the middle, sometimes they lose sight of that jet sweep guy. And I think what makes Mecole so good at it is obviously he's super fast, but he runs really hard. And a lot of times when you get smaller receivers and you get them on those jet sweeps, they want to get outside and kind of get to the sideline and kind of get yards and go out of bounds. If you notice with Mecole, that man puts his foot in the ground and gets upfield and trusts his blockers. And you don't see that out of a lot of guys in this league, and it's a special talent that he has.
Patrick, there was so much talk about how the 49ers were looking at this as a rematch of the Super Bowl, and of course, you guys just really took care of business today. How much did this game mean to you guys? I mean, of course, every opponent I know is important, but was there anything at all in regards to playing the Niners again? Or?
Yeah, I mean, it's whenever you play against the best teams in the league, you want to go out there and show what you're all about. And I believe the 49ers are one of the best teams in the league, and obviously one of the best defenses. And so for us, coming off a loss against the Bills, you don't want to go out, have two losses going into the bye week. And so we knew this was an extremely important game. And I thought the guys accepted the challenge, especially how we started and responded and went out there and found a way to get that win. And that bye week's a lot better when you're coming off a win.
Hey, Patrick, National Tight Ends Day. I know Travis was like just 2 yards shy of 100 yards. I didn't know if you were aware of that near the end. I know you were trying to get the ball to him, but just, I didn't know if you guys were trying to get that happen.
I didn't know. I wish I would have. I would have stayed in and try to get him those yards. But I mean, that's not who he is. I mean, if you know Travis, he just wants to win. He's a competitor. He doesn't care who gets the shine. But if we ever have those opportunities, I think you see this team, we want to make sure we give him that credit and we give him those chances to make those historic record type of games. And he's done them so well, and he puts in the time and the work. So let him go out there and try to get a couple more catches there at the end.
And then just going into the bye week, how do you assess where you guys are right now at this break?
Yeah, I mean, we had a tough schedule going into the bye. We knew that going into the season. Obviously, we lost a couple games that we wanted to win. But when you look back on it, you're 5-2 and you're first in the AFC West. You can't ask to be in a better position. So now we have to kind of recalibrate, get off our feet, get our bodies back, and then learn. Because when we come back to this next stretch, we're going to be ready to go and try to make a push to get to the playoffs and then try to get to the Super Bowl.
All right, thank you.
Not always you get to talk with a guy that set a National Football League record with 2 rushing touchdowns, a receiving touchdown by a wide receiver in a single game. Hasn't been done in the Super Bowl era. Mecole Hardman does it today. What about this day for you and the team?
That's a National League record?
That's an National Football League record, my friend.
Ooh, that's nice right there. I like that.
All of Northern Georgia's rejoices.
That's really good, man. But I mean, actually good, we can get those plays called down in the goal line, actually. I think it's a hard play to stop because you never know if I can, fake it or actually get the ball. So I'm glad we can call it down there, man, and, get them things going.
Very similar. I mean, the flip pass and the 2 jets are very similar type plays. But what about getting to the perimeter against a good defense?
Oh, it's really tough, but just going that fast, though, man, like going the edge, Nick Bosa's he's one of the best DNs in the league, and he still had trouble, seeing where, if I had the ball or not. So when I'm trying to read if it's a run or if it's, if I'm getting a sweep or not, it's kind of hard for any DN. So especially with my speed getting around the edge, kind of get there, and then from there you just try to get north and south.
I was talking about you all week, too. The play you made against Buffalo, that was not, you had to catch it in a tight window, red zone, and know you're going to get hit. You had another one like that today. How much have you grown in that part of your game?
Just trusting Pat and where he put the ball. And so when he throw a ball like that, man, just try your best to catch it and bring it into the tuck. And whatever happens after that happens. And just got to be ready for those type of plays because those are the type of plays that, you expect to make in certain situations. So we just got to just keep working on those.
I've always said this, too. You got everything started with the 58-yard kickoff return down 24-0 against Houston in 19. Why am I bringing that up? You're down 10-0 in this game. What about this group and why they don't stop? 10-0 means nothing.
I think offensively, we never think we out of the game. And we feel like if we get in the end zone, we know our defense is going to step up eventually and to get us a stop, or every time they give us a stop, we just got to put them in great situations, whether we're scoring or if we, get them down, to their 5 or 4 if we have to punt the ball. So we just try our best to help them get in good situations. But as far as offensively, we think we can score with the best of them.
Must have been the trip to Munich, I don't know. But this guy just set a National Football League record. Congratulations on an unforgettable day.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Mecole Hardman, the Jet.
Chris, with the coming off of a loss over here, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What did you feel like you guys showed most improvement in this game?
I think we focus more on us, what we can get better at. I think we gave that game away. We had so many opportunities late in the game where we could have capitalized on it, whether it's a pass rush, whether it's a pass we could have caught. And I think the focal point this week was capitalize on those opportunities. This is a great team coming in here. We knew it was going to be a hostile environment. So we capitalized on those opportunities. We'll give ourselves a chance to win.
Chris, we talked so much about you playing defensive end last year, but you've been pretty successful at it in the spots you played at this year. Was that something that's just game plan related? Is it something you're seeing during the game? I guess, how does that come about?
You know, Spags called the defense. We just try to give them different looks. You know, I got a heck of a supporting cast with me. I got Frank Clark, Carlos Dunlap, and Colin Saunders, or Derek Nottie, and they cause a double team on them, which frees me up to get a one-on-one, or the scheme that Spags run forces me to get a one-on-one, and my job here is to win the one-on-one.
It feels a little bit odd to ask you to comment on a no-comment shirt, but is there a reason you're wearing it here?
Well, everyone has been asking what's my comments on the sags, the flags I get. I have no comment. I'm trying to I have no comment, man.
Can you describe, Juju was just in here, he talked about you guys have been down 10 points or more and won 3 games. Can you describe 10-0, what the energy is like on your guys' sideline after you get down?
I think we actually play better when we're down. I don't like to be down because it causes so much, you know, so much pressure on us to go out and score or go out and make a stop. But I guess we like challenging ourselves at this point, you know. But no one got rattled. Everyone stayed subtle, and we came together as a team. Yeah, I said at the beginning of this year we're gonna face a lot of adversity as a team, and it's continued to build our character as a whole.
Hey, Chris, just heading into the bye week, how do you assess your team and the progress that this team has made just for 7 weeks of the season?
We're 5-2 right now. We're in a good spot. Most importantly, we're missing a lot of key pieces within this team. A lot of guys are still hurt, banged up. We got one of our starting cornerbacks out, one of our starting D linemen. So we get a lot of guys healthy. Everyone can get a little rest, get off your feet, take care of your body, and we can come back and make a stride.
Chris, seems like the 4 best defensive games you've played this year have come on the road, the 4 road games. And the 2 best pass rush games probably today and the one in Indianapolis. Something about playing on the road that gets you guys going a little bit maybe?
I don't know. I think it's more so we're accepting the challenge of who we plan and continue to get better week in and week out. You know, Joe Cullen emphasizes on up in the level week in and week out and being better than you were last week, and that's our focal point as a D-line in particularly. Thank you, guys.
Back here in Santa Clara, the Chiefs again with a statement victory, 44-23 over the San Francisco 49ers, now 5-2 going into the bye. But let's just kind of gloss over what the Chiefs have done in these 7 games. When you look, the first team in NFL history to have to play their first 8 games, and the 7 for sure, against teams that had winning records the year prior. This has not been an easy trek.
All offseason long, when the schedule first came out, everyone outside of the kingdom, they were saying, how can the Chiefs possibly have a winning record after this opening stretch, right? The Chiefs are 5-2 after playing all of these good teams going into the bye. In 3 of the last 4 weeks, the Chiefs have faced a defense that ranked either number 1 or number 2 in scoring in the NFL. They're 2-1 in those games, averaging 35 points per game. What a start for the Chiefs, and they're only going to get better moving forward.
Yeah, but if you check your phone, go back and look book to book. At a year ago at this time, the Chiefs were 3-4, just got blown out by Tennessee, and were -10 in the giveaway takeaway ratio. The other thing the Chiefs have overcome, and I don't think this is a little deal here, the fact that they had 5 different start times, 3 different days of the week in their first 5 games of the year. We know that the NFL likes the Chiefs. They like to have them on center stage. But to deal with it logistically, this team has done an amazing job to get to 5-2 with all of that on the plate.
And several times the Chiefs have been ambushed early on in games as well. Think about the Monday Night Football game against the Raiders. They fall behind 17-0. In this game, they fall behind 10-0. Well, Patrick Mahomes in his career now is 13-9 when he trails by 10 points in a game. He has a winning record when he trails by 10 points at any point in a football game. The Chiefs are never out of it, and they've shown that this season so far. They're going to fight through throughout. They showed that here today.
In the 6 years the Chiefs have won the AFC West, now going into this year, they're 22-6 against the NFC. Check out the other AFC West teams and see what they've done book to book, and you'll realize it's a big part of the Chiefs winning the AFC West. A lot of work to do, 10 games left in the regular season, but now this team needs a bye. If you take the 3 preseason games, this is the perfect time. 10 games. 10 games.
It's a nerdy football thing, but when the schedule comes out, we're trying to see the primetime games and all that, but you and I are also looking, when's the bye? And a late October, early November bye is the perfect time to rest up and get ready for the home stretch of the season. And last year, you mentioned it, we were 3-4 at the bye. You don't feel really good going into the bye if you have a losing record. To be 5-2 and to win all these tough games at the bye and to know you're only going to get better moving forward, it's an exciting time to be a Chiefs fan.
The upside for this team is big time upside, and we know what Andy Reid does after buys. It'll be Sunday Night Football against the Tennessee Titans. But Kingdom, you all deserve a bye week. Enjoy it. And thanks for joining us on this edition of Chiefs Rewind.
Final 2 minutes here from Santa Clara. The Chiefs out there.
Chiefs Rewind is brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Kansas City Chiefs, and by Community America Credit Union, the official banking partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.